Today we will be discussing regarding passive states. Passive states they play an important role in work extraction properties relating to quantum states. So the classification of passive states helps us to provide various bounds on how much work can be extracted from these states. So intuitively what we can say is that it is associated with the fact that a quantum system is unable to raise a weight, in the sense that we say that a quantum system, any system, it does work, mechanical work, if it can suppose raise some sort of a weight from a fixed potential to a higher potential, and then we can say work can be extracted out of the system. In that sense, these passive states, work cannot be extracted from them. So we will understand it by a small example. So suppose we have an Hamiltonian which is diagonal. Hamiltonian, it is a Hermitian operator, so this is a basis in which this is diagonal, and the eigenvectors are eigenvalues are 1, 2 and 3. So you can collect the eigenvalues in this particular fashion. And similarly, now we take two states. These states are diagonal in the same basis as the Hamiltonian, but have different probabilities. These are the density matrices 1 by 4, 1 by 4 half, and you can again arrange it like this, and half 1 by 4, 1 by 4. So now the point is we can perform a unitary transformation that takes us from that takes the system from this particular state rho, this state rho, to this state rho prime, and it is easy to see what this transformation will be. It is similar. It is simply we can change the 3 with 1 here, then we will get half and 1 by 4. So basically it is like swapping these two probabilities, and that is performed by the swap operation. So that what I have written, this is the swap operation that I have written here, and this is also written in the same basis as that of the Hamiltonian, and this is particularly the swap, that is swapping the 1 and 3, keeping the 2 fixed. So but now the main point here is, so you take your initial state and you perform a swap operation, you go to a final state. Now you can measure the change in energy. So for the system, the change in energy will be the final state energy, average energy, minus initial state average energy. And now average energy, as we have discussed many times, average energy is given in density matrix formalism simply as rho times the Hamiltonian, the operator. So you have to measure so we have to measure trace of rho prime h minus trace of rho h. This will be the change in the energy of the system. But now important point is that energy is a conserved quantity. If a system is isolated, if a bigger system, we have like the entire universe, the energy is conserved. So in that sense, if the system releases this much of energy, then in some place else this energy will be increased. And in that sense we say that suppose the system released the energy, this particular energy, the negative of this energy will be increased in the environment, and that environment part is what we say the implicit battery of the system. So it is like the energy of the battery rises when energy of the system falls, and hence work has been extracted from the system to the battery. So as because of the minus sign, we will take initial system energy minus final system. This is the work that will be stored in the battery, not the energy of the system. And we see it is this much, it can easily be performed. So trace of rho h, because all these states are diagonal, it is simply the dot product of this vector with this. So it is like 1 by 4 plus 2 into 1 by 4 plus 3 by 2. Similarly, this can be performed and we will get the answer half. But now there is an important point that on making the transition from this initial state to this final state, we have actually extracted the maximum possible work using a single unitary operation. Why this is so is easy to understand, because as you can see here, this Hamiltonian, you can think that this is in ascending order. The vectors are 1, 2, 3. The initial state was in some sense in the descending order, but the final state is again, the initial state was in ascending order, but the final state is in descending order, because half is greater than 1 by 4. So you see, if the vector components are all positive, then the dot product of an ascending vector with a descending vector will be minimum as compared to ascending and ascending. In that sense, given this particular row with this spectrum, the unitary operation that will completely lower its energy to the minimum will be if it can arrange this particular entries in this order. So with this we understand that this rho prime will be the minimum state, because any other unitary that we will supply will always increase the energy compared to this rho prime. So the rho prime is the it is a state that is achieved from this initial state that has the minimum energy. And hence, once we have reached the rho prime state using this unitary, we would say that we have extracted maximum work from the system, and this maximum work is called the ergotropy of rho, the initial state rho. So with this we understand this part, and hence we say that rho prime is a passive state, because whatever unitary operation we apply on the system now, whatever unitary operation we apply on this system, this rho prime cannot be further lowered in its average energy, and hence we cannot extract any further work. So with this understanding, we give a formal definition of passive state. A quantum state of a system with a particular Hamiltonian H is called passive if this particular condition is met, that is trace of H times U rho U dagger is greater than equal to trace of H rho. For all unitaries, this is basically saying that for any unitary operation that is possible, that is allowed, if the minimum, the bottom line of the trace is hit by this state rho, then only this state rho is called passive state. So till now we have given the definition of, this is a definition of this passive state, and now we give a classification of the passive state. So what this particular theorem it says is that, suppose you have a state rho, then it will be passive if and only if two conditions are met. So both the conditions needs to be satisfied for this rho to be passive, and the first condition is that the commutator of the state with the Hamiltonian is 0. That means they both are diagonalizable in the same basis in this particular fashion. And the second condition, which is more important, is that suppose you arrange, you choose a order of a basis. So you choose an order, you fix an order of a basis such that the Hamiltonian is arranged in the increasing fashion, where epsilon 1 is lowest and epsilon d is the highest eigenvalue. Then in this chosen order, in this fixed ordering, the state of rho must automatically be arranged in the decreasing fashion. So you see, this is a much stronger statement than demanding only the commutator to vanish. So basically this is the statement that is saying that for a given state, the state that will be completely misaligned with the Hamiltonian will be the passive state. So that is what we saw here, that it was completely misaligned. This was in ascending order, this was in complete descending order, and it was a passive state. If we have taken this particular state, 1/4, half, 1/4, this won't be a passive state, because we still can extract work out of this state and finally reach to this state by simply swapping these two again. So with this understanding, we have understood an important property of passive state, that it is diagonal as well as misaligned, we can say. And now finally we understand the property of K passivity. So the point is that even if a state is passive in a particular Hilbert space, we can increase the system's dimension using tensor product, and the state may not remain passive in the larger Hilbert space. So the notion of K passivity is that if a state rho is passive, and further if you form a higher tensor product, rho tensor K, and even in this tensor product the state remains passive, then the state is called K passive. So in this tensor product, so if you have an initial state which is passive given this Hamiltonian, passivity requires a Hamiltonian to be specified. Then in the higher tensor product, if you take multiple copies of this state rho, the Hamiltonian will simply be addition of the each individual Hamiltonian, but at a different tensor product site. And if under this Hamiltonian, this big Hamiltonian, this state is completely misaligned, then we say this state is passive. So that's all for this video. In this video we discussed this important concept relating to passive states. We can also discuss one of the important point, that is this alignment. So suppose the Hamiltonian has these are the eigen vectors, eigen values of the Hamiltonian, and suppose we take this particular tuple where this pi is the density operator in the form of this decreasing order that we saw. Then for passive state, essentially this misalignment means that in the basis, so this is like an entropy, so in the entropy energy basis, these states are monotonically increasing. So that is a small geometrical understanding that this passive state carries, and there are papers which use these geometric understanding. So that's all for this video.